How are you this evening? Well, I wish I could make this lighter. I don't know. All right. How's everybody? Welcome. I'm Dr. Deb, and this is my Thursday night regular time with you. And tonight we're going to be talking about what you should do in case your needs are not getting met in your marriage, or for that matter, in any relationship, really. This isn't just about marriage, it's any relationship. So the first request I'm making, please, is that you chat in. I think the chat's working. It looks like it's working. Let me put a little heart here and see. I don't know. Did that come up? Did you see a heart, you guys? Anyway, I think it's working. And so chat in, ask me questions, tell me your opinions, tell me what's making sense, not making sense, and everything else in between, okay? All right, let's dig in. A whole bunch of you said that you were going to join, so I'm expecting you there. I'm expecting comments. And I don't wait. I really don't wait. I just get right into it. So let me ask you this question. In a relationship, when we say someone's not meeting your needs, what do you mean? What are your needs? What are the needs that people are always expecting to have met in their relationship? What's it all about? You guys? Well, everyone wants to be loved, right? But what exactly is love? A person wants to feel valued for who they are. But they also want to feel, to get that value, they first have to be heard. They have to feel heard, seen, felt. They have to have a presence. I remember once somebody who was adopted telling me that her adoptive family could not get connected to her. And they'd walk by as if she wasn't there and like walk through her, bump into her if she didn't get out of the way. That's a terrible thing. So every person wants to feel that they are there, they're understood, they're present. There's a certain weight to their existence, right? That's a need. That's a basic need of a relationship. When we talk to each other, we want to feel there's a give and take, like I'm understood, you get what I'm saying, and you say something back, and I get what you're saying, right? But what happens instead is something goes wrong with that. We have a need also to feel autonomous. We want to be able to be our own person, even though we're in a relationship. We don't want to feel like we're the child, unless the relationship is with our parents. And even then, if we're adults, we certainly don't want to feel like we're the child. We want to feel like we are a grown-up with a will and an ability to do something about that will, to exercise autonomy. That's another need. We have to have that sense of choice, freedom to choose, and not necessarily do everything you want. Obviously, there are limits and boundaries. You can't go out and just, let's say go out all night and not come back because your spouse doesn't know where you are, and that's not fair. So there are limits and boundaries, but where do you set those boundaries? Where are the boundaries, and who decides where they should be? We want to feel cherished, and we want to be connected. These are some of the basic needs that people have. And they often will say, I don't feel my needs are being met in my relationship. So if the needs aren't being met, how does that happen? Why does that happen? And what do you do about it? Well, one way to find out if there's something wrong with the person that you married, rather than something wrong between you, the relationship itself and how it's going, is simply to ask the question, what was it like before you got married? Were you deeply in love? Did you talk all night? Did you share things from the bottom of your hearts, each of you, and feel heard and feel valued and feel understood? If so, then the problem is not that that person can't. Something went wrong. And what was that? What was it that went wrong? So, I love my little art. You tell me, guys, if you like my art. You can see this? Tell me yes, tell me no. Here's two people fighting. And this seems to be what's happening. And I am proposing an explanation for that fighting. I am proposing that really each person became triggered somehow by what was said, what was done, or what wasn't said and done. And so the real people are these people, and they are hiding behind these protectors. The protectors are not who they really are. They're just their anger. If all you see is anger, then that's who the protectors are. The part of them that gets angry. But why? Why do you see protectors instead of the real person? And the answer is because of these kids. There's a kid on each side that the protectors have learned since childhood to be protecting. Since childhood, the protectors have learned that if they don't get angry, the child that they are is going to be injured. Now, no one stopped and thought about it. No one said, oh, I'm being a protector. I need to protect this person. No, it's an automatic reaction. But the person, the real self, the true self, is not the same as the protectors, the anger. How do I know that? Well, have you ever been in the middle of an argument and got carried away and said to yourself later on, you know, that wasn't me. I'm really not that person. Or have you ever gotten into an argument and said to yourself, and other people would agree with it because they've seen you, that's not the person you are. I know you. You're not like that. You've heard, I'm sure, about people who are charming for the world and then they become villains at home. So who's the real person? I maintain neither one is the real person. Both are protectors, that you've all different kinds of protectors. The angry one at home and the charmer outside, neither one is the real person. These are the real people. And the real people need protectors, including charmers or victims. There's all kinds of protectors that people need. And so what happens when your needs are not getting met, it's because you've got your protectors out there taking advantage of the situation. And obviously, they're not equipped to meet needs. Protectors can't give empathy. Protectors can't listen. Protectors can't understand. I was just telling somebody today who always argues with her teenager. Hello, what else is new, right? But I said, your teenager, if she's arguing with you, is a protector, because that's not who the girl is. And that's not who you are. And guess what? Protectors can't receive. You give a message, you tell them 1,000 times, and they don't get the message. The message doesn't come through. Protectors can't receive. If protectors cannot receive that message, where does it go? It falls on deaf ears. It's a waste of energy is what it is. So how can you get your needs met? It's impossible to get your needs met from your spouse's protector. And it's impossible for you to even express what your needs are if your protectors are up. It's not gonna happen. So let me give you some examples of how a perfectly loving couple turns into this. Okay? So one way I'll give you is they have sex, and now one person is too worried about performance. It's called performance anxiety. Usually we put that one on the man, and society puts that one on the man. So the man is so worried about his performance, guess what's not going to happen? He's not going to perform. When you're worrying, that's one of your protectors. Protectors could be angry, they could be worried, they could be defensive, they could be logical, they could be scared. Protectors can be all kinds of things, right? So the protector in bed that's worried about performance is not pleasing the partner. And then the partner says, why didn't you this and this? And a fight ensues, or nothing happens. That door gets closed and it doesn't get opened again. Am I making sense here? This is just one example. And whoever is on the chat, I'm asking you, please chime in with opinions. Does this happen? Maybe you don't want to talk about sex on a public chat, but anything like this, does this idea make sense? The reason you can't get your needs met is something got triggered, so that instead of the real person being there, instead of that, you have a protector, and the two protectors are fighting with each other. If the chat's not working, I'm going to be dismayed. Can you please chat in? Yeah, this makes sense. No, this doesn't make sense. What are you talking about, Dr. Deb? Actually, if it doesn't make sense, then please go to my other videos that are not lives, because I have extensive playlists on explaining all this. And if you go there, you'll see to my channel, Dr. Deb Empowers, and you'll see. I need for someone to say something, because I don't know if I'm making sense and I need to talk more, or if I can go on. There's a bunch of you on. Either no one wants to talk or the chat's not working. But it doesn't say the chat's not working. So I don't know. Let me chat and see if it works. Chat is disconnected. Ooh. Why is chat disconnected? Oh, I guess you can't chat in if it's not working. Huh. Uh-oh. All right. I don't know what to do. That technologically proficient, I am not. All right, it won't work. Okay, let me go on and pretend you all said, yeah, it makes sense. Okay, that was example number one, the bedroom. Here's another one. One person spends money without discussing it with the other person. Now, why would they do that? Well, the person who's spending might think, I want to feel autonomous. I don't want to feel like I'm a child at home. I want to be able to go out and spend money. I earn it. I work. Why shouldn't I spend it? And that, in turn, could trigger the partner, who then feels like they have been disregarded, ignored, invalidated. See? So there's a reason for the trigger. And the person who then got yelled at or scolded for spending the money might feel like a child, that they have to ask permission and they don't like it. So here you have an example of the two people being triggered. There are many, many reasons why people are triggered. One person might yell just because they're nervous. They're anxious, an anxious person. And their yelling doesn't really mean that they're angry at you, but you don't know it. You feel like you're being yelled at because you are. And that triggers your defenses. And you don't feel safe, so you can't express yourself. So all of these are reasons, and there are many others, I'm just giving a few examples, of why a person might be triggered. So then they can't meet your needs because they're too busy protecting themselves. What do you do about it? What do you do about it? So I said there are two things you must do. And each person must do these two things. Thing number one, for every need you have, to the degree possible, you must meet your own needs for yourself. Now, you're going to say, if a person has a need for companionship and someone to talk to, how can you do that all by yourself, Dr. Deb? Well, I live alone and I talk to myself all the time. I solve many problems of my own that way. Hopefully yours as well. How does that happen? Why? Here's the thing. Each person, remember, has a true self, right? The man and the woman, each human being on the face of this earth has a true self. What we want is a reversal of the role described here, so that we end up, and I just chose a different couple because I love this picture. It's a great picture. Here's a couple talking to each other. To me, it looks like full of self-energy. What does self-energy mean? No one's blaming each other. No one got triggered. No one felt like the other one criticized them or made them feel small or ashamed. So each person in the conversation is already in their true self. And when you take that picture and you fold it in half so that either person is alone with themselves, and they have what's called leadership of these parts, the angry part, the little kid that's frightened or crying. When each person has leadership of that part of them that in the past was taking over as a protector, so that instead yourself is taking over, not your protector. And yourself is protecting the protector. Because remember, these protectors came into your life when you're a little kid. So you are a grown-up, you're an adult. You can take care of them and reassure them, which is what this picture is all about. Then you can start giving yourself the pat on the back that you need, and it comes from a genuine place, meaning you hear yourself. You know your thoughts. You understand yourself. You don't need to have someone else put their rubber stamp on your thoughts or your ideas. Sure, it feels wonderful to have a friend who does that. And if your best friend is the person you're married to, that's fantastic. Of course, that feels wonderful. But step one, it's paradoxical. Step one is you do that for yourself. Here's why it's paradoxical. The more you can be your own friend, the better you will have the friendship of your partner. Why is that? Because you won't start giving back. If they sling it at you, you know that's their protector. And if you no longer feel you need your protector because yourself is good enough, then what happens when they sling it at you is you go, oh, I see. I see where they are. I see where they're coming from. They got triggered by X, Y, and Z, and now they're mad or they're sad or they're depressed or they're threatening me or they're whatever. I get it. I get where they're coming from, but I'm good. I'm okay with me. The more you could do that for yourself in the face of your partner's protectors, the more your partner will calm down. The less they're going to be reacting to you. Now, I did a video a few weeks ago on narcissists, and the person I was critiquing was another person. It was a coach, and then I did a therapist who both were speaking about narcissists, and I was shooting them down because I don't like that kind of stuff. And they would say, oh no, the calmer you are, the more agitated your narcissist is going to get because they want a reaction. I don't agree with that, and go back to my other videos to see more on that. But what I really believe is that if the narcissist or whoever your partner is that is not meeting your needs sees that you're genuinely, not fake, genuinely compassionate for them because you're compassionate for yourself first, and they feel that you're compassionate and they feel that you're confident in who you are, the more they will calm down. I promise you, that's how therapy works. Look, supposing you took 100 different therapy models and 100 different therapists following each model, and you have 100 times 100 is what, 100,000, something like that, therapist interactions going on. All the research says the most important part of therapy is the relationship between the therapist and the person. Well, hello, how is that different from a marriage? And why does it work? Because the therapist believes in herself or himself if it's a guy. They believe in themselves. I believe in myself. I have compassion for myself, kindness for myself, and I have enough left over for the person sitting in front of me. or on the other side of a Zoom screen or whatever. With that compassion, you feel it. And when you feel it, it does calm your system down. It makes those little angry parts, I'm trying to get into the screen here, go behind the person, because you're saying it's okay, I'm taking care of it, I'm good. We're not in a problem here, we're good. And so step 2 would be that as you show your partner that you're okay and love is possible and leading with self energy is possible and it works and it's effective, then maybe your partner will start being willing to work on themselves too. Because the truth is that having a good marriage with 2 people who are genuinely friends and able to talk to each other from a self-led place is much more loving and lovely and enjoyable and wonderful than not. Sure, being alone, you can give yourself that pat on the back, but it is much better when you've got the 2 of you. And what I want to do, if you're interested, is put a link down in the chat after this is over for you to go to my website if you want to be on my newsletter, and you can get a copy of each of these. I haven't put it up in the sky, but I can put it out in my Dropbox, and you can download these nice pictures that I made. I did these. I mean, I didn't take the pictures, but I created the whole scene, each of them. So, and this maybe will help you to see what your goal is. Oh my goodness, someone just joined. You're a half hour late, guy or gal, whoever it is. I'm just winding up. Okay? So, and I'm sorry the chat's not working, and I don't know what to do to make it work. Last time I was able to click and it made it connect, and I don't know why it didn't connect. I know why it got disconnected. I had the nerve to take my computer out of the room. I don't know why that should matter when I plugged it back in, but whatever, I'm sorry. Okay, so I can't ask you if this is making sense because the chat's not working. I hope it's making sense. It should be published in a few minutes. It works like that. And then please, please, please type whatever you were going to chat in the comments. I will come back. YouTube notifies me if there's comments, and I will come back and respond. So I want to know if it's making sense. I want to know if it's applicable. Now, let me just comment one more thing before I let you all go. Going from here to here is not quick and easy. We've learned for years and decades to have our protection, and it's really hard to start to be in self energy. As someone said to me today, she was sitting right in front of me, and she said, "This is really hard to do when I'm not sitting with you, Dr. Deb." It is, but it's doable. It takes practice, but it is doable. And once you can feel the energy of yourself, which is positive and has perspective on the world and wisdom and courage and self-love and self-care and kindness, then there's enough energy in there for others too. That's how it works. And it works. I promise you it does work. We were created to be self-healing, Do you know I had lung cancer? It's not a secret. I mentioned it once. In August, they identified it. A week later, they took it out. Gone. No lung cancer. Okay, it was done with a surgeon, but we are capable of being self-healing. They messed up my arm. In the process, they have you in some kind of a weird position, and all the nerves in my arm got pulled too far. And my arm wasn't like connected. I could do things with the muscles, but there was no feeling at all. It was all in pain and numb at the same time. Well, it's almost normal. Self-healing. So yes, going from this to this is possible. 100%. Not quick and easy. Don't think I said that. I didn't, but doable. And I'm going to put the link in the chat. I'm going to create the page for you to get this. You'll join my newsletter. It'll go in there, and you'll also get a download to this. Good night, you guys. You take care. And thanks for joining.